What is up, gamers? Today I'm talking about MENACE again, although this time, early access, not just a demo. So I've just finished my second playthrough on expert difficulty. This time it was on Ironman, so I had one playthrough where I was kind of learning how to, play the game. I was reloading, retrying missions, and then I've just finished a second campaign on expert Ironman. So I just want to talk about, kind of some what I think went well in the campaign, and like what maybe I could have done better, and maybe some advice for new players. I'm thinking about doing more MENACE content soon, but for now I just want to kind of talk about like the campaign in terms of like the good and the bad. So the first thing is probably what faction do you want to fight? When you're on your system map, you can pick an operation. What operation do you pick? Basically, I don't really care much about like which faction I get trust with. I think Dice of the Gods and Zane Breacher Corp are a bit better because Zane Breacher have AI Logistics, which is like the best OCI. They have the auto laser turret. Like I think these two are good, and like the salvage teams are like okay, and recovery teams are also good. Dice of the Gods have the hacker, which I haven't actually got round to using yet, but it seems like it would be pretty good. So, I would maybe lean towards one of these two if you kind of don't have anything else. But generally, I don't really care. Like, you get some OCIs. A lot of the OCIs are just like not very relevant, in my opinion, other than AI logistics. But that's basically it. You just want to get AI logistics for the end game, but you'll have lots of time to get AI logistics. So, it's not that big of a deal, really. I think what's more important is what faction you're going to fight. So, I think having played a couple of like played like the first operation or two on expert mode on like failed runs, I think that the pirates are more engaging to fight compared to the aliens, but the aliens are easier, especially for the first couple of operations. If you can do like 3 alien operations in a row, I think you are set up very well, because the aliens aren't very hard in the early game, basically. Even on expert, there are a lot of them, so you need to like be bringing ammo, and you are definitely in danger of running out of ammo if you're not very careful. But basically, you just need like one squad with a crowbar for dealing with like the flying enemies, and like you can shoot them as they like come in. So 1 to 2 crowbars is good, and then one team with like one of the SMGs or the shotgun. I don't know if they've got it on the black market. No, I can't show you on this save file. But the shotgun, I don't have my shotgun. The shotgun is very, very good against the bugs, because both the SMGs and the shotguns just do a lot of damage at close range. So the crowbars are for dealing with like the flying enemies and like the spitters that like want to shoot you from far away. And then as they run in, you just get to shotgun down all the little guys, like the warriors and all that stuff. And it's just like, it's not very difficult. They only have one real like anti-tank threat in the form of the like I can't remember what it's called now, like the spitter bug. Not the bombardier. He's quite annoying, but you just have to like be careful, I guess. But you can afford to take like 0 armor other than the bombardier. Like that's the only threat to your like unarmored guys, really, because if the melee guys get close, they kill you, but you just kill them first, it's not a problem. And then all of the long range ones, they kind of spit at you from very far away and do no damage. You have to be a little bit careful with the flying guys, because if they get close, they have like a flamethrower attack, but you shoot them down before they get that close to you. It's not really a problem. Whereas the pirates, they have more anti-vehicle, like off the bat. They have like the workshop RPGs and stuff, so they actually can threaten your vehicle like quite realistically. Which is more of a concern, because your vehicle is very valuable, it's very powerful, but also a little bit vulnerable. And then I think the pirates, they just have a lot more competent ranged units in their roster, which means that they are more of a threat. And the AI, I think, for the pirates is a bit better in terms of like the bugs will just kind of like run at you. I'm pretty sure that the AI for the aliens is just, if one of your guys is in vision, run at them, move closer. If in range, shoot weapon. If not in range, move closer. Which is like really easy to play around. You can like set up on the edge of concealment and then step one guy in, and then he like baits all the attacks in. They run at you, and then like you can have like 2 squads with shotguns standing behind that guy, and then when the melee guys all run in, you just shotgun them down. It's very easy. Anyway, I think later on you probably want to move on to pirates, because they drop loot that you can actually like use. So the bugs, you sell the loot and buy things on the black market. That's very good early. But the pirates have some like nice things that you might not want to buy. Like the pirate trucks are actually quite good. You can do some fun things with the pirate trucks. I've got Bog driving a pirate truck with the radar, so he's very cheap to deploy, and that brings with the ground radar, which is very, very strong. This is like a massive, I don't know what the range is on the radar, but it's like 16 tiles or something, I think. It's very, 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 very big. So you kind of want pirate trucks, and like some of the pirate weapons are actually quite good, or like they're kind of usable. They're okay. Like the pirate armor as well is like okay, which is probably more. It's easier to get your hands on that stuff if you fight pirates and loot it off them, rather than go to the black market and like try and buy things. Because if you get unlucky in the black market, you're not able to buy what you need. That can leave you kind of hanging a bit if you're fighting the aliens only. And then I think you want to fight the rogue army when you are strong enough to. You need to make sure you have plenty of anti-tank for them, because they actually have quite a few armoured units in their roster. But they have the best loot, so the more you can fight them, the faster you can kind of accelerate your campaign. But also, the more likely you are to torpedo your campaign by getting your vehicle blown up and like 2-3 squad leaders injured, and then like you've just like ruined your run. So I would recommend practicing fighting them on a non-Ironman save file and being cautious. But if you think you're strong enough to fight them on Ironman, then I think they yield the biggest rewards. And then the Menace, I think, is just actually quite easy. Once you know the strategies, they're quite easy. They're not a very hard faction to fight against, in my opinion. You just need to bring a lot of firepower and don't bother with armor. Armor is useless against them. They just kill you anyway, so what's the point? You just need to bring lots and lots and lots of guns. As much guns as you can get, and lots of heavy anti-tank to deal with the gun crawlers. Don't piss about with any of like the workshopped RPGs or like the lighter stuff. They're just kind of like, you need the heavy duty. You need like the 80GM launcher. This thing like basically means it just annihilates gun crawlers, makes them not a threat. If you have somebody with the laser designator or the mark skill, having an 80GM launcher or a laser lance kind of like just deals with gun crawlers. It's not really a problem anymore. And then you just bring like lots of guns. You bring Sachin because his suppression is crazy, so you just overload, and then you just have loads of like big rifle squads, and that makes the Menace just like not very scary, really. They're actually just quite boring. So you can fight the Menace. I think they're a good faction to fight in terms of like loot, and they're a good faction to fight because they're actually like just quite easy. They are very dangerous, so if you mess up, you are going to be punished for it. But if you are patient and intelligent, then they're not very hard to fight, and you can get a lot of rewards out of them. Okay, I've whittled on enough about how to fight the different factions, so I want to talk about OCIs next. So one of the things I think went well in this campaign is I have lots of squaddies. I did lose a lot of squaddies. Lots of squaddies died. Rest in peace. 75 deceased soldiers. F's in the chat. No and then. So building an XWU is like a good idea, I think. I have 116 squaddies in my roster. I think XWU is probably overkill and not worth it. So if you look at like, WU is 2 squaddies at a cost of 70 points, whereas the XWU is 3 squaddies, but at 160 points. So you're paying more than double the cost for only 1 extra squaddie. So I think probably you just build a WU rather than an XWU, because you can build it earlier, so you can start earning some squaddies earlier. And you just spend fewer components, and the components, they're kind of valuable, right? You can build other useful things with them. Obviously, I think the WU and XWU are much better than the Medical Bay and Advanced Medical Bay, respectively, because the Medical Bays only help you if you lose squaddies. So if you lost like 5 squaddies in a mission, then you'd rather have an Advanced Med Bay than the XWU. But there are going to be missions where you don't take anyone, no one goes down, or like 1 squaddie goes down, and then at that point you'd much rather be earning extra squaddies rather than preventing losses. So I think WU and XWU are just better than Medbay and Advanced Medbay for that reason. I think Medevac is like, that's a nice to have, but your hull slots are very valuable. So who cares? Recovery teams I think are good. You might want to consider building one of these, although I think if you're going to be building a kind of vehicle thing, I think Repair Bay is better, because Repair Bay you get, I think out of the gates you have to unlock recovery teams, but you just get Repair Bay. And generally you're trying really hard not to get your vehicles blown up. If you're playing kind of cautiously, you should probably be very rarely like actually losing a vehicle. So this is one of, and a good example I think of some slightly odd game design, I think, where a lot of the things in the game are just kind of like win more. Like you get rewarded a lot for doing well, which makes it easier to win more. But playing poorly and adjusting to playing poorly is very like cost inefficient. So if you're losing vehicles, yes, 100 points and 1 slot to get your vehicles back is good, but it would be much better if you didn't spend those 100 supplies and never lost a vehicle anyway. Anyway, the point is, Repair Bay I think is better. You're more often going to be having a damaged vehicle than having destroyed vehicles, and therefore Repair Bay will do more for you in your campaign. I don't really care about any of the things that give you commodities or supplies. Like there's like a drug lab that gives you drugs every mission. A salvage team gives you commodities every time you destroy a vehicle. I guess against pirates you could just like absolutely mint money, because you could just destroy, especially you have one of those operations where it's like a defense. It's like stop them from reaching the left side of the map. They spawn on the right side and they drive all their trucks to the left side. You could easily get like 10 trucks destroyed and make loads of money. But then it's like, well, who cares? Like the black market, sometimes there's good stuff on here, but a lot of the times there's only like 1 or 2 good things that you want, and I just don't really care. A lot of the best stuff isn't that expensive, or you can loot, or you'll make enough money. I personally have not found a need for getting more money. It would be helpful, but like I just don't really care that much. I don't feel like in my game I ever really struggled for, other than the very early game, that I really struggled to like put tools in my arsenal to win missions. And then the final one to talk about, which I have unlocked so far, is the AI logistics, which is like obviously best in slot. You just build 4 of them every game. Once you have enough squaddies and once you have enough vehicles that like you can afford to switch out vehicles, you just build 4 AI logistics. 15% is a massive discount, and they stack additively. So if you have 4 slots for hull upgrades and you build 4 AI logistics modules, that's a 60% discount. So it's going to cost you less than half the normal cost to field vehicles, which is crazy because vehicles are by far the strongest squads. They will be the most expensive squads that you field, but they will also be the most effective because they are highly mobile, lots of armor, lots of hit points, lots of heavy weapons, lots of options for heavy weapons, and you can bring some very good accessories as well. Like the smoke canisters are really good. You put like 3 smoke grenades down for the price of 1, and it only costs 20 action points to use. You can fire the ATGM on the move. You can be firing the grenade launcher twice a turn, and you just have so much more mobility. You can get these weapons as infantry variants, but the infantry variants are they need like to be set up. They're on tripods, so you have to set them up, and they cause like encumbered. So I think I have like the ATGM launcher, right? So it costs 60 AP to fire, just like the vehicle one, but also it gives you encumbered, so it makes movement more expensive, and you have to deploy to use it, and you have to set it up once you've deployed. So it's a real pain in the arse to use, basically. So I would rather just put that on my vehicle, and it's the same weapon, but this one just like absolutely slaps. Anyway, you get the point. Vehicles are good. AI logistics is broken because you just want as many vehicles as you can get, and AI logistics helps you get more vehicles. Next up, the armaments. I think all the armaments are just kind of shit, other than the auto laser turret, which is okay. Reason being, it can give vision and it can draw aggro, so it kind of helps. I think basically the problem with all of the armaments is that they just take a full round to come down, and that is too long. A lot of the kind of tactics, moment-to-moment tactics are dictated more quickly than the kind of round per round basis. It's very rare that you can foresee something a full round ahead and be correct, or at least maybe I'm just like a fucking idiot and I can't do that, and everyone else can. And maybe you're watching this and thinking, this moron can't predict where the enemies are going to be for a minigun strafing run next round. But I can't, because the AI does weird shit all the time. It likes to run away, it likes to run towards you, it can't make its mind up, and the only thing I think really is that like the unguided missile is great for destroying like the the watchtowers and the EMP turrets and HMG turrets that don't move, because they you just click it on the thing and they can't move, and so boom. Or maybe if you like bring a lot of suppression, you could have like a lot of enemies suppressed, and then the unguided missile or the strafing run could like finish them off or whatever. But like I just haven't found any of these to be like very useful. Even something like the smoke, you think, oh, that's like a very great defensive option, but it's not a very good panic button because it takes a full round. So if you misposition a squad and go, oh shit, I just accidentally walked Darby too many tiles forwards, and now she's not concealed anymore. She's in Jaeger fatigue, she's wearing like fucking paper for armor. She's going to get mowed down. Oh god, oh, what have I done? Oh, don't worry though, I spent 90 OCI components, and I unlocked this. I spent the trust resource to unlock this, and then I spent my 90 OCI components to unlock the smoke curtain, and you plop it down. She's like, aha, thank god I can save Darby. And then it takes a full round to land, and in that round Darby just gets gunned to smithereens. Or you press enter and maybe she takes one turn of fire and that sucks, but then you get to go with one of your other squad leaders, and instead of spending 90 OCI components that do nothing, you spent 10 supplies on a smoke canister, and you drive your vehicle over and you pop the smoke from the smoke canisters, and it's immediate. Next turn, immediate. So yeah, I don't understand why the OCI armaments are so bad. I don't understand why the devs... Well, anyway, it seems to me like sometimes the devs are trying to balance the game as though it's a PvP game, and like it's not a PvP game. So why are they trying to balance it like a PvP game? But that's a conversation for another day. Anyway. And then finally we have the electronics. I think the intelligence is in a bit of a weird place, personally, because I have found that when you go into the deploy screen for a mission, there will be like, clouds. When you have low intelligence, it's like clouds of unknownness. When you have a bit of intelligence, it'll be like, oh, it's an enemy, or it's a friendly, or it's a civilian. When you have a lot of intelligence, it'll be like... or when you have some intelligence, it'll be like, oh, okay, it's an enemy infantry, or it's an enemy vehicle, or whatever. And then when you have lots of intelligence, it's, okay, this is like the exact unit. This is, for the pirates, it'll be like, this is a veteran scavenger squad, this is a veteran scavenger squad, this is just like the normal scavenger squad, this is a HMG truck, this is a flamethrower truck. You know exactly what they're bringing. But the problem is that all of those dots on the map, at every level of intelligence, it's incomplete. So I might see 8 units in the kind of mission prep screen, but when I get into the mission, I fight like 20 plus units. So what is the point of gathering intelligence about 1/3 of the enemy force? Because I still don't know whether I have 0 intelligence or 8 intelligence. I have no idea what 2/3 of the enemy composition is. So why would I give a shit about this resource at all? It's very expensive to build these, right? The info hubs are 250 components. That's crazy. It's just very bizarre to me that the sensors, the intelligence just seems really bad. Like I just don't care at all about it. Like it helps a bit. It's nice, especially on Iron Man, when if you're not playing on Iron Man, you can like build a strategy, and then you can be like, oh shit, I didn't realise there was going to be a pirate HMG truck. Better reload my save and try again. Obviously on Iron Man, you don't have that luxury. Well, I guess if your save's gumming or whatever, maybe you do have that luxury. But maybe the info hub helps you, identify that there will be, a pirate HMG truck or whatever. So you need to, be prepared for that. But it might not show up on the prep screen, even with 8 intelligence, and then it might just turn up, and then it's like, okay, why have I bothered? What have I spent? 250 times 2 is 500. plus another 120. I've spent 620 OCI components for what? So I think personally, upon reflection, the obviously correct way to build your impetus is you build one woo very early, you build a repair bay, then you try and get to the AI logistics and build some of those. If you're struggling for manpower, you build more woos. If you keep getting vehicles blown up, maybe you buy recovery teams, but probably not. And then you buy 3 auto laser turrets because they're the only thing that is actually useful, because they give vision and because they draw aggro, and they can do some damage. They land and they immediately take a turn, so they kind of basically help you cheat a bit. You can just land, you can plonk them down, they'll just ping away at something. So you can use them to help gather intel and do a bit of damage. And even if they get blown up after one turn, you don't care because you didn't you had to spend 150 components, but actually. The more I think about it, the more I'm actually OCI components are pretty worthless as a resource. You just don't really care about a lot of these things. I guess the hacker actually seems kind of good. I haven't played with the hacker, but it seems quite good. Even if that's only once per mission, it seems like a pretty good oh shit button, because you fuck up, you miss the gun crawler, you shoot your rocket launcher at the the MENACE gun crawler and miss, and then you're off. Shit, I'm about to get killed. That gun crawler's about to turn around, blow up a vehicle with its rocket launcher, and gun down another squad, and chain route half my squad leaders. Okay, maybe this is actually a pretty good oh shit button. So I think actually you build 3 hackers, an X-Woo, a repair bay. You can get the upgraded repair bay from one of the factions. I can't remember which one now. I think the Zane Breach Corp. So you probably just build those, but realistically late game you just build 4 AI logistics, 3 laser turrets and 3 hacker modules, I think. But none of them really matter. I hope that this is all going to get completely overhauled, because to my mind I just don't like really any of the OCI. The whole system is just a bit rubbish. Well, not rubbish, it's just a bit naff. Anyway, sorry, this isn't supposed to be a bitch and moan about things I don't like, because I do love this game. I just wish that well, I'm just excited for future patches, and I'm hoping for reworks to make this game as good as it could be. Because this definitely has the potential of a great game. The skeleton is amazing. It's just that there's lots of just weird. It's a rough gem, I guess, and I'm hoping that the roughness is kind of polished. Anyway, let's move on. Squads, I think, upon reflection. All squad leaders are kind of viable. They can be used, but there are definitely some winners and there are definitely some losers. I think in the current incarnation of the game, taking the cheap squad leaders with the hope that they get better over time is okay, but in my opinion, this is the end of early access. I've just kind of got to the thanks for playing screen, and Carda still doesn't have 100 action points. She's almost there, and I've been using Carda every mission that I can. She's been here. She's been taking the crocodile, and don't get me wrong, this has still been a very effective unit. This has been a very cost-effective unit. Share the load and a crocodile and +6 squaddies, and especially if she takes an ammo bag, this is 15 crocodile shots. That's pretty good. She can do some great things, and she's very, very cheap in supply. But having said that, you feel it. You feel the cheapness comes at a price, especially at the start of the game. And I think that the game is hardest at the start when you have the fewest tools. You have you only have the carbines. You have no other weapons. You have no special weapons. You have no armor, and your only accessory is the magazine pouch. And you have no OCIs, and you have nothing to trade with on the black market. So you have absolutely no tools at your disposal. Being so severely hampered by poor accuracy and low action points, I think is probably not worth it. Late game though, it's great. Hiring a bunch of 1-star squad leaders that you can put on the pitch for 120 supply, and they've got like this guy. If I do that, we're laughing. This is amazing suppression because of his suppressive fire, like Sachin with suppressive fire and just like 9 fucking crowbars, just like, you know, eat people, and then you can like give them a skybot for a bit of anti-tank, or you just give them magazine pouches. This is like what, like 100 supplies, like just over 100 supplies, I think. And this will, or maybe it's like 120, like for including like the squaddy tax and, you know, the promotions and blah blah blah. This is like probably sub 120, and it's like, why would I not do that? Like, that's crazy. When my supply limit is like 1,500 or something, it's like, this is so cheap to run, and it's insanely effective. So you know, I think late game, yeah, you take all the 1-star leaders with the low promotion tax and the low supply costs, and you just fill them out with, you know, I think the kind of specialized gun squads are a bit underwhelming. Like, a lot of the heavy weapons are like not as useful, I think, compared to just like, you know, 9 fucking crowbars. Anyway, so yeah, I think when you start the game, you probably take you take 1 of the 3-star squad leaders, maybe, if you want to. Probably take Darby, because Darby is very, very, very good. Because concealment is very good, and she has a perk that gives her +2 concealment, so that's a lot. And then you just take all the 2-star squad leaders, because you need them to actually like pull their fucking weight in the early game. You can't afford, I don't think, to have squad leaders who just like can't hit, or who, you know, they can move 1 tile and then they can't shoot twice. They've moved 2 tiles and they can shoot once, and then that's it. They're gassed out because they only have like 80 AP or whatever, or 85 AP, and it's like, that's just like not viable. Or it is viable, but, you know, it's just like, why would you hamstring yourself? But later on, once you're into like the mid game, then you can start hiring the like shitty squad leaders, the cheap squad leaders, and just like give them those rifles, and you have like some actual gear to work with, so you can afford to like give them smoke grenades and give them load bearing rigs. Then they get very, very, very good. So yeah, that's kind of some of my thoughts about, you know, tips, I guess, kind of, not really, but like some advice perhaps if you're starting an expert run. And then, yeah, I think I might make some more videos soon about you know, various parts of the game. I think probably, though, I'm getting close to being like kind of done with the game as it currently is. I'm very excited to come back to the game and play a lot more of it as new patches are released and when new content is added. When this game is fully out, we'll play a lot of it, I'm sure. But I think for in terms of the early access, you know, I played through twice now on Expert. I feel like I've developed good strategies and I'm kind of like done. So I probably want to talk about, you know, those strategies and talk about some parts of the game and, you know, what I'd like to see. But in terms of you know, I don't think I'm going to discover much more new or interesting things about the game at this point. And I think I've kind of conquered the challenges that has presented to me thus far. So there you go. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.